The Mandalorian Season 3... Oh, yeah. I haven't read this article, but I read the title. And I hate these titles. Too many of them. The Mandalorian Season 3 pushed me away from Star Wars, and that's okay. I hate article titles like that, but that's a good thing. It's not me or Grogu, it's you, Disney. Right, here we go. This is from... who's it from? Henry T. Casey wrote this. There's a little get. Look, I'm not a fan of Grogu. He's annoying me. Fine at the beginning. I thought, oh, bless him, a baby Yoda. And then I was almost immediately annoyed by him. But anyway. But I do have some baby Yoda pyjamas. There's a lot of information coming out about me in this episode. Never mind. The Mandalorian Season 3 just ended, and I couldn't be happier to watch it fade away. No, this isn't about Grogu. I still appreciate Din Djarin's little buddy. I don't. But I'm guessing nobody at Lucasfilm wanted the sense of relief to wash over my mind once the final credits ran on the Mandalorian Season 3 finale last night while talking about the Star Wars movies and shows with my father, though I started lamenting the current Star Wars situation. As we learned at Star Wars Celebration 2023, the immediate future of life after Luke is now becoming clearer. While the previous Star Wars movie news focused around director Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, that wasn't even mentioned. No, because it's not going to happen, is it? No, it can't be. It can't be an old article. It's been cancelled, man. Are you paying attention? Instead, we learned about a trio of movies. There's a James Mangold-helmed Star Wars movie about the origins of the Jedi, which, whatever. There's also going to be a new Star Wars movie starring Daisy Ridley as Rey. That could be neat. No, not sure though. We last saw her in The Rise of Skywalker, a dumpster fire of a movie. Sorry, Rise of Palpatine. Sorry, Freudian slip. But everything else we learned from that event, plus most of the Mandalorian Season 3, has basically informed me that outside of Andor Season 2, I shouldn't care about Star Wars any further. And if you allow me to explain, with some spoilers from Mando Season 3, I will. Spoiler warning. And there's Ahsoka, in animated form. As I've tried to explain to others before, I'm what you'd call a casual Star Wars fan. To me, that means I've watched all of the live-action movies, though I fell asleep in Solo. It were alright, it's not the best, but, past the time. It could have been worse. And shows. And slowly, along the way, I've realised that The Mandalorian and its ilk were a Trojan horse of sorts. They're filled with references to the animated Star Wars adventures. They're Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau playing with their Star Wars toys. That's all they are. And they're written in that way, like a kid playing in his sandbox with his Star Wars figures and his TIE Fighter and his X-Wing. And that's how they're written. And I think that's deliberate, to be honest. I'm not sure if this is because I'm too old or just I'm not really into content visibly marketed at younger folks. There you go. I graduated from college in 2006, you young whippersnapper. 2 years before the Clone Wars began, and the Clone Wars animation style has always felt a bit clunky. It got better, it did. I even tried to watch the Clone Wars once, it just didn't land. I like the Clone Wars, it's fine. It's a stylised type of animation in it. The visuals are stylised anyway. I don't like the Star Destroyers in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. Well, in Rebels, because you didn't see them in the Clone Wars. I don't like the Star Destroyers in Rebels, because the necks, for the bridge section, the necks are too long for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, while The Mandalorian's first season felt more or less standalone, the influence of the animated Star Wars shows began to reveal itself in Mando Season 2. Yeah, because Dave Filoni were getting more influence. The introduction of the Jedi known as Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson, was a huge moment for all the Star Wars fans I knew who were already familiar with the character. I, not having watched any Clone Wars, sat there thinking, oh yeah, she was good in the Josie and the Pussycats movie. I've not seen that. I should have known something was up from the moment we learned there would be an Ahsoka show. All I think when I see Rosario Dawson is I saw her with no clothes on in Alexander. Which is, worth it. Alternatively, I could have poked around about the rise of director, writer and executive producer Dave Filoni. While he's working on non-Star Wars shows, I've loved King of the Hill, Mission Hill. Filoni's name is ubiquitous, with Clone Wars and Rebels, a show that followed it. Then The Mandalorian Season 3 arrived with a huge obsession over the planet of Mandalore. Some told me that Din Djarin's desperate need to be taken back into the fold was sensible, but the amount of time dedicated to a planet that had only been explored in the Clone Wars was annoying. Then we got Easter eggs such as the giant space squids that Grogu saw looking out the window during a flight and seeing a giant odd visual. Yeah, they never came back to that, did they? That image, it turns out, was a space whale. Those space whales, known as Purrgil, are a big reference to the Star Wars Rebels series. Later, they took Thrawn and Ezra Bridger away. They could travel through hyperspace. Later, a meeting of the remnants of the Galactic Empire name-dropped Thrawn, a villain best known from Rebels and the books, Heir to the Empire and all that. Timothy Zahn books. Oh, pardon me. It was also seen from behind in the Ahsoka trailer and from the front if you were in the hall. Celebration. Easter eggs and references. That's one of the space pirates that just reminds me of a Babylon 5 alien. But anyway. Easter eggs and references to stuff I will not watch. There are 7 seasons of Clone Wars, 4 of Rebels, and I don't have the time for either. It wouldn't be a big problem. I'll learn to read. Except, of course, were it not for the show lacking in the space surrounding these references. The Mandalorian... How long does this article go on for? The Mandalorian Season 3 may have been better than Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's not exactly hard, is it? Or the Book of Boba Fett. Ditto. But it cleared those shows by a low margin than I expected, and the flaws varied in shape and size. It's just not very well written. As I said, it's written from like a kid's perspective. As I said, it's like kids playing and making up a story. That's what it's like. One of the most notable was the slow episode about Dr. Pershing, which, God, I still don't know why that were in there. Which felt like a deleted scene from Andor. Exactly, yes, it was very like an Andor episode-ish. Don't get me wrong, I loved Andor, but it's the only Star Wars thing I have any affinity toward anymore, so it only having one more season is disappointing. Yeah, it was supposed to be 5 seasons or 4 seasons or whatever altogether, but they're truncating it, which is probably, fine. Then the episode that annoyed me the most, Chapter 20, The Foundling. Wasted time with a flashback that felt more about giving actor Ahmed Best a second chance. It was cool, I liked seeing him as a Jedi. Known for voicing Jar Jar Binks, Best returned to the galaxy. It didn't just voice him, he motion captured him as well, didn't he? He was there on set. Best returned to the galaxy far, far away, drinking game. Cold coffee. To play a Jedi who helped save young Grogu, the camera lingered on Best for long enough to tell audiences that he mattered, but I guess I'm a fake fan because I still don't care after having looked it up online. And then there were the space pirates, whose mere existence felt like someone wasn't being told no enough. And while I won't bemoan the slapstick and celebrity cameo-infused "Hi Lizzo, Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd, what are you doing here?" episode that ruffled feathers online, it can't be left out when talking about how weird this season was. I didn't mind that episode. Everybody hated it. I didn't mind it. I thought, well, it were okay. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland, so what? I liked it better than the episode that came after that everybody raved about. Maybe I'm just weird. Anyway. I'm nearly done, thank God. I'm okay with interconnected tissue within shows, but the big problem, at least from my vantage point, is that The Mandalorian didn't feel like a season of a TV show that serviced its own ending. Lots of time was spent laying the groundwork for other things and burning time, and at Star Wars Celebration we learned why. Dave Filoni will direct a new Star Wars movie that culminates the story of these New Republic-era shows. Yes, Star Wars is getting its own Avengers Endgame, and that's possibly the kind of thing that ruins it all for me. For the author, obviously. Henry, whatever he's called. First and foremost, a TV series should be built to tell its own story. You know, what Andor is doing as we see the radicalisation of Cassian Andor, Diego Luna, and the growth of the rebellion. Yes, that ties into an overarching Star Wars story. Yes, it has Easter eggs about the Death Star's origins that are tied to Cassian's life and death. But that show is scripted within an inch of its life, and it's the clear and obvious outlier. Each of the other live-action Star Wars shows under Disney's watch has been, to put it politely, mid. And that's going to be the death of my interest. But as I said, I still have Andor, and I don't really need Star Wars. I see plenty of people who are happy with Filoni's version of the universe. I'm happy for them. Star Wars doesn't have to be for everyone, though. I wonder if Disney realises this new direction is slightly alienating. And there we go, that's it, that's the end. Like I say, Mandalorian started off fine. The first episode was okay. And then second episode, I didn't care about that. But the third episode, where he goes to get Grogu back, that was amazing. And obviously the Luke Skywalker episode, that were cool. But pretty much all the other episodes in between were just, fine. They were fine. Fine and fun, as the saying goes, or fun and fine, however you say it. Mostly. But, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't amazing. And that's okay. Right.